Hello, welcome to Ask Me Anything Live with Dragaholic.com, and today we have with us Phoenix from RuPaul's Drag Race Season 3. How are you doing, Phoenix?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us today. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, so for everybody who is joining us today, we just want to remind you that Phoenix was part of the cast of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 3. Since then, she's gone on and done some other acting gigs, including a stint on Teen Wolf. She also is entertainment director and performs in Atlanta, Georgia for two nightclubs, Burkhart's Nightclub and Jungle Nightclub. Burkhart's Pub and Jungle Nightclub.
Exactly.
So if you guys have any questions over the next hour, we'll be taking them live on Twitter at Dragaholic News is our handle, and you can ask Phoenix anything. She's open to anything today. So let's go ahead. Do you have anything you want to add, Phoenix? Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to all of the fans that have given me so much love since the show. I mean, I've received so much amazing, emails, Facebook messages, tweets. I've received so much love. You know, we all get, especially as the show's going, we receive, our share of negativity. But you know what? The love completely just overshadows that, and it's such a great feeling to get from all ages. Backgrounds, straight, gay, all over the world. It's been amazing. So shout out to all those people who send me so much positivity. I love it.
Great, and I also want to give a huge shout out to Shooting Star Management who helped us organize this event today. You can check them out.
I actually just signed with Shooting Star not long ago, and it's been incredible. I love them.
Good. Where can you check them out? Where can you find them online?
You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Facebook, and you can also find them at shootingstarmanagement.com, I believe.
MGMT.com.
Yeah, that's it.
There we go.
That way, just click on it.
All right. So shoot us your questions now at Twitter. We're already taking some questions, and we've got a bunch lined up. Also, feel free to shoot us any follow-up questions you have to any questions, and we'll get to them as much as we can over the next hour. You can also follow Phoenix on Twitter at Phoenix_ATL, as well as on Facebook. Are you anywhere else?
I'm on Instagram also, Phoenix_ATL. I'm always tweeting, and I'm much better at Facebook and Instagram. The Twitter thing, I'm trying to get it down. People are all the time like, you need to tweet more, but yeah, I'm getting there. So.
All right. Well, that's okay. We got you covered on that today. So let's go ahead and get started. We have a couple questions on Twitter coming in. So the first one comes from Alex Hayden, and he basically wants to know, he's starting out in drag, and do you have any tips that you could share with him?
Practice, and be willing to take advice. That's the problem with when I was first starting off, out, I had, there are things that you learn on your own, but I had amazing help from people, and I was willing to soak it all up, and I would just love to sit in the dressing room with these legendary queens. When I started, there was a bar called Backstreet, and I literally would sit in the dressing room and just watch and soak up every piece of knowledge that I could. And a lot of queens now, they feel like they've got it. They don't really need to learn anything. They don't need to listen. Listen. It's not about being grandeur for me, but I've kind of pulled back with giving advice because there's so much of the newbie attitude. So when I do give it, it's like, listen, you know what I mean? Take it in. We're not just talking just to listen to ourselves talk. So I guess that's my biggest piece of advice. Be open to taking in knowledge.
Good. Are there any makeup brands or any other places where you can give someone tips for learning makeup? Because that's a huge part of it.
It is. I say, right here, invest in your brushes. a lot of different makeup. You don't necessarily have to go buy everything MAC, everything Midnight, everything Cry. You don't have to buy all that, even though Krylon was an amazing sponsor for our season. We do appreciate it. But I believe that like the brushes make such a huge difference. Invest in some good brushes. But of course, I love Krylon, Midnight, and MAC are my three favorite brands. So.
Okay. All right. So moving on, we have a question that is kind of interesting and kind of ties in with Shangela and the way she did things. Would you ever? This comes from Christian Cruz on Twitter. He wants to know if you would ever.
Hilarious. You mentioned Shangela and she literally just texted me. Hilarious.
Christian wants to know if you would ever consider returning to audition again for RuPaul's Drag Race, or if maybe you would consider doing All Stars Season 2.
Great question. That is actually probably one of, I get that question all the time. I would love to, for the reason of I feel like I've grown so much since my season as an entertainer, as an artist, as a person. Just an overall person I've grown. And I would love to, for that reason alone. I now believe I was not quite ready to be on the show at that time. At that moment, I thought I was, but as I've matured and I've grown up and I've got more into my craft, I know that I personally was not ready. So I would like to go back just for that reason, because I think maybe now would be a little bit of a different ball game. So I would love to, whether it be All Star or on another season.
Good. So we have actually a follow-up question that came in prior to the event on Facebook. That now that it's been 3 years since season 3, since season 3 it's been 3 years. If you were cast on a future season or another season of RuPaul's Drag Race instead of season 3, what would you have done differently?
I don't know what I would have done differently. At that moment, I did everything that I thought I should be doing. I don't know. That's a really difficult question because I'm not one to try to really hold my past, and that's a tough one because like I said, at that moment I was like I thought I was doing everything I needed to do. But I don't know. I don't really know what I would have done differently.
All right. So we have a. Go ahead.
I said probably not really anything. I don't know.
Well, your makeup looks fierce tonight, so I'm hoping you would have brought this look.
Thank you. Practice.
Right? Practice makes perfect. All right. So we have a question. It's from actually Dragaholic Deb, who works with us here, and she wants to know about the drag scene in Atlanta. What is it like? And based on you traveling around the country, how do you see it being different from New York, San Francisco, Chicago, and the other big drag scenes across the country?
Well, Atlanta is a mecca for drag. RuPaul started in Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta drag is legendary. Lady Bunny, RuPaul, they've all grown here in Atlanta, and it still is that. There's drag everywhere, and it's changing just like how drag is. There's so many different avenues that you can go into with drag, and I love seeing because for so long Atlanta has had nothing but high glamour drag, and it's there's club kids, there's we have a group of kids here in Atlanta. They're called the Legendary Children, and they are this kind of cool hipster type of drag that's popped up in the scene. It's great. We also have like the Armorettes. They're a camp style group, and then of course we have the gorgeous glamour queens that Atlanta is definitely known for. So drag is huge in Atlanta. It always has been, and it Probably always will be.
Yeah, I knew RuPaul started out there. I didn't know the story of Lady Bunny. So, okay, so we have another question that's coming on Twitter, and it is from Liam Fergus. I might be saying that wrong, but he wants to know, do any other queens inspire your work?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I take inspiration from everywhere, whether it be other queens, artists. Fashion is huge in my household. We're all the time in fashion magazines. My roommate has a fashion degree, so we're always in it. So I find inspiration from everywhere. And you know, actually, the winner of my season, Raja, I love Raja. Raja, we've been friends since before Drag Race. We're of course friends now. She's a huge inspiration with my drag. I love looking at her stuff. Who else? Nina Flowers, mind blown by her. She is phenomenal. Um, there's so many. There really is. Chanel's showgirl style on stage, her presence is amazing. I mean, there really is so many. Jujubee, who's another dear friend of mine, her personality is unbelievable. So yeah, as you say, I take it from lots of queens. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I think if a queen is like, I'm not inspired by any other queen, they're lying. They're lying.
Yeah. Yeah, looking at your Instagram and all the photos that you have on there, I see, how big and how glamorous your outfits have gotten. So I definitely see a bit of that Chanel, esque showgirl coming out in you. How has that evolved since your time on the show?
Well, like I said, my mind is always turning. We're all in fashion here, and actually behind me, if you could see, there's fashion sewing stuff everywhere, and we're always in it. And my roommate has a degree in fashion design, so it's we're always creating and coming up with new cool stuff. Chris Tyler designs. It's amazing, we really. It's fun just to kind of create those costumey, high fashion type looks. So
yeah, definitely. Are you so you're a sewer, not a hot gluer?
Well, I dabble in a little bit of hot glue and a little bit of sewing, but I also have a lot of help. Like I said, Chris Tyler designs. He makes a lot of my costumes that are a little bit more above my specialties with sewing. So
good. All right, so we have another question, and it's from Johanna Gonzalez, Joanna, on Twitter, and she wants to know if you had the chance to perform anywhere in the world right now, where would it be? And she also wants to say, P.S. she loves you so much. So
oh,
where
I
would
love
you
you.
where would you
Oh,
want to perform?
oh my gosh. Well, I actually just the other day messaged Shooting Star Management because I see girls are going to Brazil. Brazil
Mm.
is somewhere where I've like always wanted to visit. Um, and I see girls are going over there. So I was like, how can I get there? So probably Brazil. That's like I said, that's just a place that I've wanted to visit prior to drag, just for a vacation. So now it's like I see that they're given that opportunity. I'm like, please, someone in Brazil.
Yeah, definitely. Drag is,
Yeah,
growing a lot there as
yeah,
well.
there. Or I see girls are going to Australia. I would love to. Australia's another place, but yeah, probably Brazil if I had to pick one. So.
Yeah, there's so much. I mean, RuPaul's Drag Race, it's crowning America's Next Drag Superstar, but it's really started to stretch beyond
It
just
is
America.
it is crazy. I would receive messages like I was talking about earlier, the amazing mail that I get, and some will be from different countries, and it's the first time it started happening. I was like, this is nuts. Like, because you go into this and you're like, America's Next Drag, like you said, America's Next Drag Superstar, and getting messages from other countries is just it's mind blowing. It really is.
Yeah. So one of the questions we had that came in on Facebook was basically, you know, prior to RuPaul's Drag Race, what was your drag career like? And now that you've been on the show, how has it changed?
Well, I've been at this a while, and before Drag Race, I still worked a decent amount. Before Drag Race, drag was still my only job. Um, it definitely has changed. I think as I've progressed and gotten better, and then of course having the RuPaul title on it definitely helps me travel a lot more. The paycheck has gotten better, and then I'm very lucky. There's a lot of opportunities in Atlanta for queens, and so before Drag Race, I was still definitely out there and working. But like I said, now it's became a more national level, which is amazing. So yeah.
Good. So I just want to remind everybody who's watching that if you have any questions, you can tweet them to us on Twitter at Dragaholic News, and feel free to ask anything. Phoenix is open to anything today. So, and any follow-up questions as well. All right. We have another question that came in on Twitter, and it is, how did you get your drag name? Where does it come from?
Well, the story of the Phoenix rising from the ashes, recreating itself, I think is so perfect for drag. If you see with my photos, I always trying to change my look. I love being I'm a boy during the day, so I think that me being a boy, I have the capability to now throw on red wigs and blue. I can throw on and make myself look like anything I want. So I think that's kind of the whole recreating yourself. I'm a fire sign and very, very much a fire sign. So it kind of all goes, hand in hand with each other. So.
Good, good. Okay. So actually, we have some questions that came in on Twitter prior to the event that are kind of good follow-ups, and one has to do with Conchita Wurst. How many times have you performed Rise Like a Phoenix since she's won Eurovision at all? I'll take it that you haven't.
I haven't. I don't. Oh, I know who you're talking about now. I had to let it. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. But no, I've actually never performed it. I don't even know if I've actually even heard it before. So I'll have to listen to it.
Yeah, it's a really, really good. It's kind of a slower song, but it's really dramatic
What
and
is it
powerful.
called?
Rise Like a Phoenix by Conchita Wurst.
I'll have to listen to that.
Yeah. Okay. I can't find the other question right now, but we'll move on. Okay, so the next one, actually, I'm assuming you just answered this question, but they want to know, what's your spirit animal?
Wow, what an interesting question. My spirit animal. Gosh, I don't even, wow, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Are you a phoenix?
I mean, yeah, I guess that would be a spirit animal, but I don't, that is a really good question. That one stumped me.
Yeah, it might be a mythological creature, but it can still be your spirit animal, right?
I'll see if I can come back to that one. I'm going to let that one roll around a little bit. I've never been asked that one, and I've actually never thought about what my spirit animal is, so.
Well, that came from Bianca and Sharon Lover on Twitter. So
you got me, honey. You stumped me for a minute.
All right. So we have another question from Deborah, and she wants to know if you had to lip sync for your life right now, what song would you pick to slay?
You know what? One of my favorite songs is actually that I love performing right now is there's a singer, actually Roxy Andrews knows her very well. Tamar Braxton, All the Way Home. That's like a song that I love performing that song. It's a slow song, but I love it. It's so sexy and it's got so much emotion in it. I love it, and I think I slay it. So I don't know if other people do, but I think I do.
Is that your favorite song to perform right now?
Right now, it probably is, and I mean, like I said, it's not a very high energy song, but I think ballads can sometimes be just as entertaining as an upbeat song. I've seen girls get out there and dance their face off, but not really perform the song. And it's like, if I wanted to watch a dancer, I would watch America's Got Talent or Dance Off or whatever those dance shows are. So.
All right. We actually have a follow-up question that came in about the All-Stars comment we have talked about, and that is, if you were cast on All Stars season 2, and they did teams again, who would you want to be paired up in a team with?
Ah! You know what? Detox is a really good friend of mine, and we actually have joked about it and talked about it. I would love to. There's a couple people. You know, I've got so many friends that are in the show. You know, Detox is definitely one that comes to mind because we've talked about it before. You know, Mariah's a really good friend of mine. We have amazing chemistry. Morgan McMichaels, we're also been friends for many, many years now. I don't know, of course, Raja, Delta. I don't know. I've got a lot of them because I'm friends with so many of them. Actually, I'm not gonna say so many of them, but I'm friends with a handful of them, and we've got amazing chemistry. But you know, Detox and I, when we're together, it's pure nonsense, which is fun. So.
Good. All right, there's another question in regards to that came in through an email. Someone directly emailed us through our website. His name's Stephen Nelson, and he wants to know if you have any tea on All Stars 2 or Drag U returning this fall, or any details related to that.
Nothing at all. Sorry to bore you. Nothing. No one does. We're all like, what's going on, Ru? Yeah, no, they kind of like threw it at us just like they threw it at you guys, and then just they shut up. So now we're all kind of like, okay, you know, we don't really know. We know nothing.
Yeah. Okay. So we have some more questions coming on Twitter. Let's see. We have, where was the first club that you performed at, and what was the first song you performed to?
Crazy when I tell people. It was actually at, I kind of started in the Latin scene here in Atlanta. You know, when I first started, there was, like I said, Atlanta has so many queens. You just kind of jump in where you can get in and hope it works. So, you know, I actually started in the Latin scene, and my first song was Bitty Bitty Bum Bum by Selena. Which is so crazy now. I'm like, oh my God, I can't even imagine. I'm like, I pray that there's never a video that pops up.
Oh, I love that song though. It's a very good song.
No, it totally is, but I mean, the thought of doing that song is just outrageous to me.
All right, that's a good one to choose. We actually have a question that came in on Facebook that kind of goes back to that. And it's from a girl named Samantha Holly, and she wants to know, when and why did you start doing drag?
Well, you know, there's always been something about it that has interested me. You know, I remember being young and seeing a magazine that had RuPaul on it. I didn't know. I didn't understand what, you know, she was. There was just something so drawing to it, and I remember seeing her on VH1 when she had her talk show, and would watch it, you know, and I don't know. There's always been something with it, you know. I remember also being young and watching my mom do her hair and makeup, and just loved it. I thought it was so glamorous and amazing. And then, you know, as I started getting in school, I started doing theater and a little bit of dance, and it just kind of happened, you know. A really good friend of mine for many years that I went to high school with loved drag. He loved it, and but he was kind of a little muscle boy, and I don't think he ever could do it, so he pushed me into it. And you know, we would drive down to Atlanta, and you know, we were underage, but we would either sneak in the bars or just stand outside and watch the windows. And there was this one queen named Shauna Brooks that I was just so blown away by. And then I saw some other ones, and it just happened. I started doing some little contests, and it kind of turned, I guess it was kind of a way for me to get into the bars a little underage. I don't know if I should be saying that, but, you know, it worked. At the time, it worked. But then it just
We don't condone it, but it works.
We do not condone it. Yes, we do not condone that. It worked for me 13 years ago, but it doesn't work now. And you know, 13 years later and a resume long, I'm here and love it. It's became a career, which is mind-blowing. I never would have thought it would have happened. So.
All right. Okay,
Yes,
good.
once again, we do not condone it, all you little underage boys.
Yes, drinking underage. Well, unless they're in England or outside of the US where they can drink before
Yes.
they're 21 at the
Oh,
age of 18.
party.
All right, we have a question that came in on Reddit, and this is from Little Miss Lady 91, and she wants to know if it was obvious during your season who was if Raja was going to win from the whenever you were on.
Um, no. Obvious? No. Well, was it? No, it wasn't obvious. Like I said, Raja is amazing, and I when I realized that Raja was on the show, I know what kind of caliber she brings. And like I said, I used to live in LA, so I knew Raja from when I lived there, and I know what she was bringing. When I got on the show, I didn't expect to win, and she was one of them that I was like, that's a bad bitch. So, but I don't really know if it was obvious. I just think she's a good queen and she's great at what she does. So, um, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. She's
A lot of
fierce
people,
on the runway.
huh?
She's always and forever fierce on the runway.
Ava fierce on the
That's for
runway, and a lot of people do speculate that she was on for different reasons and this and that, and it's whatever. If it was great, congratulations, Raj. I love you. I mean, it's whatever.
Okay, so we have a question that you can answer pretty quickly, and it's Alex wants to know which name would you pick for a drag name? Uh, Rain DeRossi or Anya Knees?
On your knees.
Anya Knees. There you go.
There you go.
All right. Christian wants to know what is your favorite song by RuPaul and why?
Oh my gosh. I cannot get enough of Sissy That Walk. I mean, I know it's like one of the newest ones, but every time that song comes on, you can't help. You can't sit still. It's a fierce one. Um, but I mean, Supermodel. I mean, that's when I was like realizing what was going on, and I mean, Supermodel. That's a classic. So either Sissy That
Classic.
Walk or Supermodel.
All right. Good. Yeah. Okay. So we have another question. Um, How do you feel on clubs only allowing people who are above age in to see shows? Do you wish that they would allow people who are younger in to see drag queens? Because RuPaul's Drag Race has, you know, expanded drag beyond people who are 21 or 18 plus.
Um, I know I was just talking about sneaking in underage, but it's. I would love for everyone who loves drag to be able to see it in some shape or form. We actually do something for Pride here in Atlanta, and I know a lot of other places do it, where it's called the Starlight Cabaret, and it's a huge drag show, and it's for families, it's for anyone. As far as clubs, eh, just wait, because when you finally get in and you get to see it, it's mind blowing. I mean, I remember, like I said, kind of sneaking in and somewhat seeing them, but when I finally got to go in and experience, it was amazing. So of course I would love for everyone to get to see drag if they love it, but just wait, kiddies, it'll come.
Yeah, definitely. And it's even better after waiting.
It is. It's like Christmas.
Exactly. It takes so long to come. All right, I'm just going to interrupt one more time and say if anybody has questions, feel free to shoot them to us on Twitter at Dragaholic News, and we will get to them as quickly as we can. All right, so the next question we have comes in on Facebook, and they want to know how has your career benefited from having professional management as opposed to trying to do it all on your own?
How do I want to answer this? Having good professional management it definitely helps. Um, it makes it easier. I've got enough going on. Like we were saying earlier, I trying to manage myself, do my shows that are based in Atlanta, run two clubs that each have, 15 to 20 girls, and I've got a lot going on my plate. So having good management that I don't have to worry about not getting me gigs and doing their job and making sure it really it benefits from keeping me sane, it really does help out. It does.
Good, good. And you are currently with Shooting Star Management.
Shooting Star Management, yes, good management.
Yeah. What other girls do they represent?
There's let's see, we have Stacey Lane Matthews, we have Jessica Wilde, we have oh my God, who's all on there? I should have a list of them.
I know there's a couple season 7 rumored queens who are signing up with them.
I don't know.
Not to spill any tea or anything, but that's what we're here to do, right?
I'm not saying nothing. You're not getting me in trouble.
All right, moving on, we have another question from Twitter, and they want to know, there's currently this whole issue with Facebook going on with drag queens being affected by their real name policy, where they're being required to change their pseudonyms, their drag names, to their legal or birth names. Have you had any hassle over Facebook with your name because they know that Vivacious and Honey Mahogany have been affected by it?
I've seen a lot of girls having issues. If anybody's on Facebook watching, leave me alone, because right now I actually haven't had any issues. I may have just jinxed myself, so they're going to come after me, so thank you, Dragaholic. But right now, they haven't bothered me. But, it's funny because today in Atlanta, some of the queens around here they've came after them, so they've had to change their their drag names to their legal names, and of course they're not happy about it. It's crazy, it has nothing to do with being ashamed of who we're born. I am very much a boy. Brian Trapp is my boy name. I'm not ashamed of that at all. But I've created this character. And when you create this character, it's separate. I have a boy page that I don't have 5,000 friends on, and I don't have a fan page for me as Brian. I've got a character, and I would rather be able to separate those two. And I know a lot of other entertainers feel the same way. And yes, you can do a fan page, but there are things that you don't necessarily. It's just not the same. Yeah, there is a max, with the normal page. But for some reason, I like that page better. I don't know if I've been on it longer, and I'm just used to it or what. But I enjoy the separation of the two. So.
Yeah, there's a a lot of controversy with it because of the safety behind separating your drag persona from your personal life, especially for people who, unlike you, aren't working professionally as drag queens. Mm-hmm. So, are you opposed to the idea overall, or do you think it's good for safety purposes?
I mean, maybe I'm missing the safety part of it. I mean, them knowing I was on an international television show. My first and last name's all over everything. So if you Google it, it's there. So for me, I don't really look at it as far as that. My main reason is the separation of the two. I like Phoenix to be here, and I like Brian to be here. And that's just kind of, most people, whether I'm in drag, out of drag, they still call me Phoenix. Even some of my closest friends still call me Phoenix. and I like that. It's kind of, my we have so many people that come into our lives, especially after Drag Race, and I always say my friends know Brian. They know my first name, they know my last name, and most of the time my other ones, they use Phoenix, and they don't really do the Brian thing. So, but for me,
Okay,
my main reason for not wanting to have it is, I guess, just the separation. So.
yeah, that's actually a good question to follow up with. Being on RuPaul's Drag Race, they force you the entire season to use your drag name and not to go by another name. And so people, even now, unlike your season, they don't even provide people with the boy names at the beginning of the season. So how do you feel being out in public or, wherever you are as a boy as well and being addressed by your female or your drag name?
I mean, Phoenix is such it's kind of a gender-free type name. If it was like Lisa, and then I was a boy and they were like Lisa, I mean, it may be a little different, you know what I mean? But Phoenix, I don't mind as much. But yeah, I mean, if I was a boy and they were hollering Lisa or Ann or Kimberly at me, it might be a little different.
Oh, that's interesting to think about. Okay. All right. So we have a really good question actually that came in on Twitter, and it's about the editing of the show, and that some girls, based on the way that the show is edited, feel that they were misrepresented by the show. Do you think that you personally were accurately portrayed?
Everything that comes out of our mouth that you guys see, let's see, everything that you guys see does come out of our mouth. I said everything you saw. Sometimes it may not come out at that moment that you guys see, but it does come out. I mean, it is a TV show. At the end of the day, it is a TV show. It is a competition, but it is a TV show first. Play the game. It's reality TV. They are going to make a good television show. If they edit you to look like a mega bitch, girl, take it and run with it. If they're going to make you look like a victim, honey, play it. It is a TV show. So, I mean, you can blame the editing all day. And there were a couple moments that I watched and I was like, that didn't happen right there. I mean, it was obvious my voice, but that's not what was happening. So, I know a lot of girls editing, and it's so easy to do that, but you just have to look at what's going on. I mean, it's a TV show.
Yeah, were you happy with the edit that you received?
Sure.
And we'll leave it at that. All right. We have a quick little fun game that came in from Toby, and he wants to know, marry, fuck, kill. Who would you marry, who would you fuck, and who would you kill from Sharon Needles, Jinx Monsoon, and Bianca Del Rio?
Oh my God. Marry, fuck, kill. Let's see.
Sharon, Jinx, Bianca.
Oh, I don't want to kill any of them. You know what? Probably kill Sharon Needles because that wicked witch would come back to life somehow. Let's see. Marry Jinx because she's so talented, so nice, very kind of, when I've been around her, super chill. And fuck Bianca because I actually did see something about her having a big thing. I love all of them. Bianca's amazing. We actually had Bianca not long ago in Atlanta. It's so funny how she is such a bitch, but off stage like so nice and normal and genuine, and yeah, I love it. But I think that's what I would do. I'm like, we'll go with that.
All right, so one more time, I just want to say we've got about 20 minutes left for anybody who's watching. If you have any questions for Phoenix, you can message them to us on Twitter at Dragaholic News.
Oh my God, if Bianca sees this, she's gonna be like, "Bitch, really?"
It's the dimples. You love her dimples. That's what's
It's
so.
the dimples. It's the dimples. Just I almost said something nasty in your mouth.
All
But look,
right.
Bianca, I don't. But Bianca, I don't want you, bitch. So they made me answer the question, just so you know.
All right, so we have a question. Actually, it's kind of recent, fairly recent. Joan Rivers passed away, and Seth wants to know, how did you feel when Joan Rivers died? How did it impact you?
Heartbroken. I mean, legend, comedy, just so amazing. I mean, we literally watched her every week with Fashion Police. We would watch the red carpets, of course, to see what they were wearing, but also just watch Joan Rivers. She's iconic. She really is. I'm a huge Chelsea Handler fan, but Joan Rivers is the original. You know, women, we're not saying that kind of stuff. The stuff that comes, she was the original, and heartbroken. I loved her. I thought she was just, she can never be duplicated. I mean, these girls, Chelsea comes close, Lisa Lampanelli, they come close, but there's only one Joan Rivers. So
Agreed, agreed. All right, we have a question. Yesterday or today, you were in North Carolina, and they want to know
yes.
how was your time in North Carolina, and did you enjoy it and have a great time at, I might say this wrong, but Cathode?
Cathode Azure, I believe I may have mispronounced that, but yeah, it was amazing. They were so nice. They really were. From the moment they booked me, it's always so great to deal with even like club venue owners that are so nice and pleasant to deal with. They were nice from day one, and then I get there, and the owners were great. The girl that was helping with the show, great. The audience, great. I mean, it really was. It was nice. It was a pleasant trip.
Good, good.
Very quick. It was a very quick show. Like literally like one number after the. It was a quick one, but it was fun.
Good. All right. So Johanna on Twitter wants to know. Oh, we kind of already answered this. Maybe you have more to add. What do you have to say to younger queens who want to do drag?
Like I said earlier, just be open to knowledge. Um, don't be a know-it-all because trust me, you don't know it all. I learn stuff every day. I think the moment you stop learning, stop opening yourself up to new knowledge, it's kind of time to hang up the heels and the wig and be done with it because it's going to get boring. Yeah, just be open and practice, lots and lots of practice.
Good. Okay. Mick on Twitter wants to know what challenges from your season after you were eliminated, unfortunately, of course, do you think you would have slayed and why?
Oh my God, what were the challenges? I'm trying to remember some of the challenges.
So long ago.
It really was. I'm trying to remember. I'm like, I don't know. I remember when they all like posed.
Naked?
They did their little nude shoots. Why not? Um, I don't know. I don't really remember any of them, to be honest with you. I know that sounds lame, but I don't
Well,
really
there
remember.
was the, let's see, there was the weather challenge, the one where they did the weather, the
Well, I
news
got kicked off on
reporting.
an acting challenge, so let's go ahead and put all those out.
What about like the makeover of the military guys?
That would have been fun. You know what? It's like I said. I've changed so much since my season. So I'm trying to like put myself then and like separate the two. Like I don't know. It's now me right now. I would love the makeover ones. I would love the you know I would tackle an acting challenge. So I mean, it's very different. It's now and then. Like I said, I feel like a completely different person since Drag Race. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to answer those kind of questions.
Yeah. All right. So next we have um, a question about season 6, and who was your favorite?
Season 6. Let's see. Bianca. Duh. Yeah. I mean, We were talking about Raja being the obvious winner of of my season. I thought Bianca was just an obvious winner. Um, I really did. I didn't think there was anyone on her level, look wise, personality wise, none of it. She was just such an obvious winner from day one for me. And we would have viewing parties. Usually I kind of host a viewing party here in Atlanta, and season 6 actually took it off and did not want to host a viewing party, so we kind of did something at my house, and I'd have friends over, and we all said Bianca was just such an obvious winner. So
Yeah, she's so talented and been around for a while. So
yeah, just very polished and clean, and knew exactly what she was doing. She played that game very, very well. She knew what she was doing.
all right. So next we have a question from Joey, and he wants to know if you were not on your season and you could choose another season to compete on, which season would you choose and why?
Good question. Let's see.
Season
Yeah,
6, I think, is a lot about singing and comedy.
yeah, and I'm not really a vocalist, so I don't know. It's season 6. Obvious. Bianca was the winner. Trying to think. Sharon Needles. I think we were. She's got that little edgy style, so I mean that may have been a fun season to be on. I know there was like always drama and good television going. Maybe that season would have been fun. There's several queens on there that I like, so that may have been a fun season to be on. Let's see. Let's see. What Detox was? What, season 5? Is that what she was?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, like 4 or 5. Either one of those would have been a fun season.
Okay. All right. So a follow-up question to that is from the same person is, do you feel that the show has had predetermined winners before the season starts?
I believe that they are producing a TV show. They know that they've got to pull in certain people that are going to fill certain roles when they're casting a show. I'm sure they have in mind who they would like to win, because you can't pull a show on and produce a show and not have any clue of what you're looking for, because that would be impossible to produce. I think that when they cast, they are probably got it narrowed down to a couple of girls that they think could take it home. Yes, I do believe that. And then sometimes a girl will come on the show and surprise everyone, and then it's really hard to edit someone who's doing amazing and make them look like they're doing bad. So sometimes a girl can come on and just stump everybody. So
Who would you say is an example of that?
I don't know. I'm just talking.
Maybe Trinity Bonet, I think, is probably a good
Trinity,
example.
you know what? She actually is a good example. Trinity's a friend of mine. She's actually a good example of that. Trinity's from Atlanta. She's been in a scene that produces amazing queens. They're tough on their girl. Atlanta has different scenes in it, and Trinity originally came from a scene that, like I said, produces great girls, and they're tough and make these girls work. And And yeah, I think she probably came in. Some of the Atlanta girls then had not done very well, and you know, well, and people's opinions had not done very well on the show. I think making the show alone is you beat out thousands and thousands of queens, so that's progress right there. But yeah, I think Trinity probably came in and people were kind of like, and then she was slaying, honey, slaying. So yeah, she's probably a good example of that.
Yeah, okay, so we've got about 10 minutes left, and we've got a bunch of questions rolling in right now at the end, of course, on Twitter. So, just to really quick, here's a question for you. If you had made it to Snatch Game, who would you have played and why?
Probably Anna Wintour. I love her. I love her attitude. I love her demeanor. I love the way she holds herself. It's so. I think she could be so funny to portray in Snatch Game. I think she'd be a good one. So Anna Wintour.
Can you do a decent British
Oh, let's
accent?
go to the next question. You said there's a lot of them.
Okay, okay. I was just trying to get it out of you.
Yes, I know. Not in this hair, honey. This will portray Anna.
All right. What is the biggest way that you feel you've changed since the show, and what would you have done differently?
It's like as I've grown up, I've matured. I've had things to happen in my life. I lost my grandmother about a year. It'll be 2 years in February, and that made me grow so much as a person. I think that definitely has had a huge impact on my change as a human being in general. But I think as an artist, the more you do something, the better you get at something. And I work a lot, so I practice a lot, and I am never content. I'm always wanting to grow and develop and get better. I think some girls are content where they're at, and I don't really plan on being just where I'm at. So
Yeah, that's good. You always have to grow, right?
I believe so, yes.
All right. So next question we have is, what was your experience? This is a good question. What
Okay.
was your experience like on the show versus what the viewers saw?
It's crazy. It is crazy. It is so stressful. You know, throwing yourself into what we throw ourselves into. You guys don't get to see how much we go through behind the scenes, and just try putting yourself be literally being called a week and a half before, saying you've made this international TV show. You have such and such time to pack these kind of bags, and literally throw it all together and go on television, and they're like, do this, do that. You can't talk right now. It's insane. That's probably the craziest part is that you guys don't get to see what we go through on the show. So I think when you guys see that the cat fights and all the drama, it's because, honey, we are stressed. We're stressed. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So we've got a couple minutes left, and we've got some questions. So the last couple are, who is your favorite diva and your favorite celebrity crush?
My favorite diva, probably Cher. She just embodies a diva. I mean, she really does. She is proven herself time and time again. No one is on her level. I mean, she really is just on she's on a whole another level. I mean, for her to have the career she's had and still socking it. I mean, she's probably my favorite diva. Celebrity crush. Oh my God, that's a good one. Adam Levine. He's a hot one. Let's see. I don't know. There's so many of them. I have my taste in men is so all over the place. I mean, it really is. I have so many different types of guys that I like. Um, So it's really hard. I've got a lot of crushes. Adam Levine, I know you just got married, but call me.
All right. Here's a controversial question, and they want to know, how do you feel about the whole tranny debate, and do you consider yourself a tranny?
Do I consider myself a tranny? No. I live as a boy. I have lots of transsexual friends. Some of my closest friends. One of my drag daughters, Alyssa Brooks, is a transsexual, and to each their own. You know, some girls are offended by it. Most, if not all, of my transsexual friends are completely okay with the word tranny. Um, it's a tough one. Do I say tranny? Yes, I do say it. Am I meaning to offend someone? Absolutely not. You know, like I said, my daughter, my drag daughter, one of my loves is transsexual, so I would never want to offend her. I would kick someone's ass that did offend her. So, you know, that's not what I'm trying to do. So I think it really is to each their own. If you're offended by it, I will try my damnedest to not say it in front of you. But I mean, I don't really, you know, some people are probably going to completely disagree with me on that, and that is one of these situations that, you know, it's a tough one. I mean, I think I've said it for so long, and it's been okay for so long. Um, it's really hard just to not say it. You know, I know some people compared to, you know, other words that should not be used, and I don't know. That's a tough one. It really is a tough one.
Yeah. All right.
I think it got. I will say I think it got completely blown way crazy.
Agreed. Agreed. All right. So maybe this might be our final question. It's you know, a good
Aw.
way. It's a good way to. Yeah, we've only got 3 minutes left. It's a good way to end it, though. It comes from Andrew Michael, and he wants to know what's next for you.
What's next for me? That is a good question. You know, like the Phoenix, always rising, recreating, doing something different. You know, I actually, I can't, of course, I don't want to jinx myself, and of course, legally, I can't say a lot. I have another audition for something really big tomorrow. Yeah, I'm extremely nervous. I've already been to one audition for it, and I've got a call back tomorrow, actually at 10 a.m. So I am very nervous. It's for Brian and Phoenix.
Hmm.
So,
All
fingers
right. Well,
crossed. And it's an acting thing. It's an acting gig, honey.
you better keep us updated if it does happen. You know, we'll share the news about it
No,
on
trust me.
Dragaholic.
I'll be celebrating, honey.
All right. So just to kind of wrap things up, where can people follow you? Where can they find you, and where can they, you know, ask you more questions if they do have more?
Definitely. You know, you can always tweet me at Phoenix_ATL. Check out my Instagram, same thing, Phoenix_ATL. Find me on Facebook, Phoenix.ATL. I have a fan page also, it's Phoenix, but you know, right now I use my Phoenix.ATL the most. Right now I haven't had to change it. So, and if you're ever in Atlanta, you know, definitely come see me at Burkhart's, at Jungle. I'm all over the city, and I'm traveling the country and hopefully the world. So definitely come check me out.
Good. All right. So, as to wrap up, I just want to say thank you for everybody who's watching. You know, follow Phoenix, and of course follow Dragaholic News, and
Yes.
a huge shout out to Shooting Star Management. If you want to book Phoenix to come to your town, or ask your local bar to bring her near you, you can reach out and book her through shootingstarmanagement.com, mgmt.com. So thank you very much, Phoenix, and you know, I
Thank,
appreciate everything.
yeah, thank you. Thank you, Dragaholic, and thank you for everyone that tweeted me, that did not tweet me, but loves me. Thank you for everything. I do appreciate it. It's love. Mwah.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right.